This poem is called The Dream of Macsen, Wledig. This poem covers another long tale in the Mabinogion, an ancient collection of old Welsh stories and poems. It's a story about a Roman emperor called Macsen Wledig. Macsen Wledig is the Celtic name of Magnus Maximus, who reigned as emperor of the Western Empire from 383 to 388 AD. Out hunting one day, he feels weary and settles down in the shade for a nap. He has a lucid dream about travelling to a far-off land and meeting a golden lady whose countenance shone like the sun. This lady Helen captures his heart, but he is wakened from his dream by dogs barking, and is disconsolate at losing the lady of his dreams. Worried by his manner and his actions, his advisors get him to retrace his footsteps on the hunt and send messengers ahead to find the lady. They travel to Britain and across to Wales, where they find the Lady Helen in a castle at Carnarvon. This translation is by Lady Charlotte Guest. This poem unites three of my interests: Brythonic/Celtic legends, the old straight track/ley lines, and the old pre-Roman deities of Britain. This one references Ellen of the Ways, an antlered deer goddess whose name means hind or golden hind. Poem number 146, The Dream of Macsen Wledig. Macsen Wledig, Emperor of Rome, out hunting one day in the Vale. Weary, he thought of returning home, resting under a tree in the shade. Closing his eyes neath a weeping willow, his retinue in attendance stood, surrounded by shields, using one as a pillow. He started to dream in the wood. Following the river, he rode down upstream towards a mountain in the distance ahead. Over the mountain he rode in his dream. From 4 mighty rivers flowed northward. The mightiest river he followed downstream to where the rivers and ocean meet. On one bank a great city was seen, with a harbour and a large fleet. And he saw one ship among the fleet, fairer and larger was it by far, made all the others look incomplete, gilded and silvered like a star. A whalebone bridge led onto the ship. Macsen boarded, a sail was unfurled. Leaving the harbour he started his trip to where he knew not in the world. Over the sea he came to the isle, the fairest isle he'd ever seen. Steep hills and valleys and plains sublime, all luscious and verdantly green. Traversing the land from shore to shore, he saw wonders beyond compare. A temple to Apollo lay at its core, with trilithons raised high in the air. Another isle faced with peaks and a wood, or a plain leading to the sea. A river flowed to where the castle stood, the gates wide open invitingly. Macsen entered into the hall. The roof seemed too similar to gold, glittering gems all over the wall, with gold doors heavy and old. Gold chairs in the hall he spied, at a gold table with silver fret. 2 youths were seated side by side, attired in satin as black as jet. Gwithwill they played as the dice rolled, with a silver board like that for chess. Pieces they had fashioned of gold, its opulence mirrored their dress. Beside a pillar a man old and hoary, on a chair from ivory made, a noble man reflecting past glory, 2 red gold eagles on his chair inlaid. From head to foot rejecting gold, bracelets, rings on arms and feet. Around his neck a torque extolled, a noble, a man of the ruling elite. A game board of gold lay on his table, of pure gold the finest in the land, fashioning game pieces nimbly and able, with the aid of a file in his hand. A maiden sat in a golden chair, her face lit up, bathed in light. Her beauty shone, nothing could compare. The noonday sun was not as bright. She wore a silk vest above a surcoat of gold and tinted red, with clasps of red gold at her breasts. A frontlet of red gold sat on her head, adorned with rubies and pearls. A girdle she wore of ruddy gold, beset with diamonds in swirls, the fairest maid he could behold. The maid rose from her chair, embracing Macsen with joy. Both sat together there, lovingly as girl and boy. The barking of his dogs woke Macsen up from his idyllic scene. In shock the emperor hardly spoke, so lucid was his dream. Desolate at what he lost, Macsen stood in sullen mood. His retinue moved to their post. 'Tis time to return for food. The emperor mounted his horse, the saddest soul that could be seen. For Rome the party set their course, through the woods of green. During the following days and nights, Macsen moped about all day. Not food nor drink could him excite, nor would he engage in sport or play. A servant spoke to him and said, O Lord, for thee we pray. To the citizens thou art dead, they seek thy guidance day by day. I see the maiden in my sleep, I need her by my side. Commanding wise men in his keep, seek for her far and wide. Messengers rode out everywhere, to places far from Rome, their single purpose, try as they may, to bring the lady home. For 1 year they sought the maid, returning sadly to his side. To report to him they were afraid, they saw nothing of the lady his bride. One of his nobles spoke to him, Go forth again upon the ride, follow the river o'er the dale and hill till you gain our other side. The emperor rode out on his steed and reached the mighty river's banks. This is the way, his same indeed. He prayed to God and gave their thanks. He sent an embassy, 13 of them, upon the dangerous quest ahead, swearing to the holy Vem their vow to find the maid. In front of the mountain loomed what seemed to touch the sky, knowing if they seemed entombed, this was the place they would die. On the other side 4 rivers flowed, over plains down to the sea. The messengers knew this was their road, the place they had to be. Following the Rajas river downstream, until it flowed to the coast, they saw the city of the emperor's dream, and a large fleet with many boats. Crossing the sea to the island of Britain, they journeyed over to Wales, passing the henge where Apollo had risen, traversing the mountains and vales. In front of them arose Ynys Môn, like a verdant ship on the main. At the mouth of the river Avon stood the castle of Macsen. The youths were playing chess. The grey-haired old man was seated there, still carving playing pieces. The maiden sat in her gold chair. The messengers sank to their knees before the maiden in her chair. Empress of Rome, come with us, please, for the emperor is in despair. In a lucid dream, you and he were wed as man and wife. Come with us, or he will come to thee. O maiden, save the emperor's life. I neither approve nor deny your tale, the maiden said to the embassy. But if you are true, then without fail, he will come to this isle for me. The messengers sped back to Rome, telling the emperor about the maid's reply. Sending orders for his legions to come, the emperor set out to claim his bride. On reaching the island of Britain, his army took the land by force. Belai, son of Mabinogion, was beaten. He fled with his sons to the coast. Marching to Avon, he saw Macsen, like a jewel it rose by the sea. Look, the castle where my love has lain. She's in there waiting for me. Kinnan and Adian, sons of Wledig, playing with Will out in the court. Wledig, son of Caradoc, made pieces to play. At his side was the girl Macsen sought. He embraced her. O lady, my love, your hand in marriage I claim. If you agree, my love I will prove. This night I will give you my name. The lady asked for a marriage portion as a gift from you, Lord, to me. Give my father the rule of this land, from the Channel to the Irish Sea. 3 castles I want in this fair land, 3 castles must you avow. At Mabinogion and Isca Augustus, and Macsen where we are now. And pathways to connect all these, to cross all over the land, remembering me by name if you please, as Helen I would have you command. Helen was granted her part. The roads exist up to this day, travelling by foot, horse or cart, travel by San Helen of the ways. Macsen tarried with his bride in Britain several years or more. Rome his right to rule denied, a new emperor came to the fore. Macsen gathered up his men and set his course for home. Conquering the empire again, he reached the walls of Rome. A year he besieged the city walls, but the walls would not come down. Helen's brothers came, the city falls. Macsen gratefully retrieved his crown. Macsen's tale has now been told. Macsen Wledig had his glory days, and of his bride whose face shone like gold, the Lady Helen of the Ways. Thank you.